Seeking to match the program's best start to a season since 2018, the Atlantic Sharks boys basketball team take to the hardwood with added enthusiasm. Led by two dominating interior scorers and burgeoning talent at the guard position, the Sharks are looking to end their three-game opening homestand with a win. However, a familiar foe blocks the path as former Atlantic head coach Brad Frazier brings his Deltona Wolves into the Shark Tank, ready to do battle. Live from the gymnasium on the campus of Atlantic High School in Port Orange, Florida, tonight's second broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball on MJT Sports Productions is on the air. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Trevillo. Thank you for joining me for the second game in our Atlantic basketball doubleheader. If you missed the first game, the University Titans beat the Lady Sharks 59-8. But we have a second game to play, so let's talk basketball. As I previously mentioned, the Atlantic Sharks are 2-0 with wins over DME Academy and a blowout victory over Titusville, 74-45. Atlantic are now led by both ends of the floor by their forwards. Junior Emmanuel Preston had a season and preseason low of 20 points against Titusville, but still led all scorers. And senior Anthony Bottolato was just shy of Preston's mark on Tuesday with 19. Perhaps the biggest surprise for the Sharks on Tuesday was senior guard Jalen Johnson. Despite not seeing the floor in the first half, Johnson came off the bench and scored 10 points, including two third-quarter threes to help Atlantic pull away from the Terriers for good. I spoke to Sharks head coach Justin Valajo before the game to get his thoughts on Tuesday's win and to look ahead to tonight's challenge. I'm here with Coach Justin Valajo before the Sharks take on the Deltona Wolves here on a Thursday night, long night triple header. And Coach, you're looking to remain unbeaten here on the season, go 3-0. Take me back to Tuesday night, win against Titusville. What are your overall thoughts on the win?
It was a good win. I'll take any win, whether if it's a close game, ugly game, good-looking game, but that was a really good-looking game for us. We played well defensively. We held them under 50 points, which that's our goal every single night, is to keep every single team under 50 points, which we've done the first two games. But it was a great game. I think almost everybody except for two people scored the ball. When those nights happen, it's a lot of fun to coach at. The bench energy was great. It was a picture-perfect game for us.
And one more thing about the Titusville game, you saw the Terriers kind of make a run in the second half. Once your bigs were out of the game, there was one point where Bottolato and Preston were both out, and they kind of went on an 8-2 run, and then you put them back in. What is your solution to that kind of situation where your bigs are on the bench?
Well, we just got to work hard on the glass, especially. Typically, if something like that happens, I wanted to give them some rest. They play a lot, but in those type of situations, if we typically we'll probably have a 3 running as a 5. He's got to be able to match that physicality that both of our bigs do. So you kind of don't let up at all on that end of the floor.
Onwards to tonight, you got a Deltona team in here. Head coach Brad Frazier loves to run the ball, play press defense, turn you over. What is your goal to combat that defense tonight?
Basically, I mean, it's pretty simple. You handle pressure. If we handle pressure, I think we'll be fine. If we don't handle pressure, then it'll be a dogfight, which is kind of what happened with Father Lopez, their first game of the year. They have some good athletes, but I think for our game plan, if we execute it, we'll be just fine. Handle pressure, attack when we have opportunities to attack. If we don't have opportunities, pull it out in our offense, and then I think we'll be fine.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Last season, the Sharks split the regular season series with the Deltona Wolves, with the road team winning each contest. 12 months ago, Atlantic was undone by its home floor by 3 Deltona seniors, Elijah Joes, Jermaine Mouse, and Marlon Thompson. This season, it is up to a new crop of talent for the Wolves, and much like the Sharks, it starts from the inside out. 6'5" senior forward Marcus Antoine will be the tallest player Atlantic will have faced so far this season, and it will be up to senior guard Jordan Stoller to provide volume scoring from outside the paint for the Wolves. We are just about to get underway. 30 seconds until starting lineups are introduced. I am doing the starting lineups because the normal public address announcer here at the Shark Tank is not in attendance tonight, so we'll get you down to the floor for starting lineups and the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise to move your hats for the singing of our We are set to go here at the Shark Tank between the Wolves and the Sharks. The Wolves 1-1. The Sharks 2-0. You've got the primers. The teams are on the floor, and we are just about set for basketball. For Deltona, it's Jones, Morales, Antoine McKnight, and Sarud on the floor. And for the Sharks, Rashad Small, Hunter Leonard, Emmanuel Preston, Trace Sharpton, and Anthony Bottolato reprise their starting lineup from Tuesday night. The Sharks in the home white, black stripe down the sides, teal numbers, black trim. Atlantic, in white with teal trim across the front. Wolves in the all blue, the royal blue, with gray and white trim, white numbers, gray trim. Deltona in gray across the front with a white outline. Preston is set to jump it off, and he wins the tip against Marcus Antoine. Trace Sharpton controls, attacking the basket to listeners right underneath Bottolato, tried to shovel it to Preston. Preston forced to recover and work back to the right-hand point. It'll recover for Rashad Small. Small controls against his opposite number, Morales. To the left-hand corner, here's Trace Sharpton. Bounce pass to the baseline for Emmanuel Preston. Preston working on Antoine, gets him in the air, puts him a shot, no good, but a foul. And that is what Atlantic will try to do all game long. They're going to try to get the ball to Emmanuel Preston as the first foul of the game goes on Antoine. It'll be important for the Sharks to get Antoine in foul trouble because he is their only player with a height matchup against Emmanuel Preston at 6'5". Preston's first free throw attempt is no good. Too strong off the back. 30 seconds in. No score between the Wolves and the Sharks. Preston to the line. Second of a two-shot penalty is front iron, no good. Offensive rebound grab by Sharpton. Sharpton back out Preston. Free throw line. Drives in. Left-hand layup. Too strong, and Antoine with the board. Two good looks at it there for Atlantic, but no points, and Deltona will control with Jex Morales. Morales against his opposite number, Rashad Small, works left towards the Atlantic bench. Now gets a screen, drives the lane. Double team comes, finds the open man at the top. That's Carlos Sarud. His three too strong off the mark, and Hunter Leonard will take the rebound. Still no score. Each team's had a possession. 1 minute gone by. Rashad Small stands on the Atlantic logo at center court and works past Morales. Jump pass to the right-hand corner. Three on the way from Hunter Leonard. So-ish, it's good. And Hunter Leonard off the mark. And the Sharks lead 3-0. Morales controls for Deltona. Between the circles, heels on the Atlantic logo. Now he tries to drive for the right, through a screen, back to the left, gets to the free throw line. Triple teamed underneath, somehow works his way through it. Left-hand runner is no good, but the putback is up and good from Antoine. And it's 2-3. The Sharks can maintain the 1-point lead. Rashad Small trying to work through a full court press against his opposite number. Now it's just one-on-one. He does work the ball across the time stripe. 6:21 to go first quarter. Way out high to the left is Hunter Leonard. Hunter Leonard now works to the middle. He'll be guarded by Carlos Sarud wearing the black eyewear, athletic eyewear tonight. Step back from Leonard for three. Feeling it early. No good, too strong. And the rebound comes down to Antoine, but immediately turned over to Rashad Small. Small could not handle it. And Antoine takes possession for Deltona, and then he turns the ball over at midcourt to Hunter Leonard. Leonard drives, goes for the dunk, and it gets blocked by Marquise McKnight. Into the front court comes Deltona, down by one, and it's going to be a foul called as Hunter Leonard was trying to tie up Jex Morales. And that's the first foul on Leonard, first foul on the Sharks. End-to-end action here, early days in the match. Still only 3-2 Atlantic leads. Deltona to inbound under the right in front of the Atlantic bench, and the inbounds pass from McKnight goes right off the arm of Hunter Leonard, so we'll do it again. Right in front of the Atlantic bench, Deltona attacking the basket to listeners left. McKnight, the gunner, looking for a way to get the ball in. He does bounce pass it to Morales. Head coach Brad Frazier calls a play. Morales drives to his left. Sharpton switches on to him. He gets past Sharpton, gets to the paint. Handoff to McKnight, gets Preston in the air and draws a foul as he went up for the layup. And it's quickly going to be the second one on Hunter Leonard, not who we thought would be in foul trouble tonight for the Sharks. That usually goes to Sharpton or Preston or Bottolato, but it's too quickly on Leonard. And now to the line for two shots is McKnight. McKnight too strong on the first one. And now all he can do is attempt to tie the game here with his second free throw attempt. McKnight, right hand dominant, listed at 6'3", probably stands closer to 6'4", as he dribbles the ball with his right hand. toes the line, now into his motion. It is up, and it is good. Rattle around the rim and down. So we have a 3-3 ball game, 5:32 to go, first quarter. Hunter Leonard, who already has 2 fouls, controlled over the 2-man trap. He does get the ball across, shuffles it back to Rashad Small. Rashad Small in front of the scorer's table, now works to center court between the circles against Giroud. Small kicks it to the right-hand corner. Bottolato drives, has nowhere to go, now double-teamed, throws the ball almost away. It's Sharpton recovers, and then he gets blocked from the backside by Carlos Giroud as he went up for a 15-footer. Deltona controls, 5 on the clock. Preston with active hands to try and knock it away from Jones. Now under the basket, left-hand side, baseline runner, no good from Marquise McKnight. The Sharks control, but immediately they give it away. Preston gave it away right to Marcus Antoine, and Antoine has 4 of his team's first 5, and it's the first lead of the ball game for Deltona, 5-3. Sharks got to settle down here. It's been a little bit frenetic early in this ball game. Rashad Small behind the back dribble, trying to get away from Morales out high. Justin Valajo trying to call a play. Rashad Small gets by, stop and go in the lane, shuffled across to the left-hand corner. McKnight, his three-pointer is good. Leonard, his three-pointer is good. 6 straight for Leonard. He's got all of the Sharks' 6-on-2 three-pointers. I said on Tuesday we have our new 3-point sniper in this Sharks lineup, and it's Hunter Leonard, but unfortunately Leonard's going to commit his 3rd foul as he charges in to Jermaine Jones. And Hunter Leonard is going to have to come to the bench. It looks like we have a little bit of confusion about how many fouls Hunter Leonard has. Both books have 3 on Leonard. And Coach Valajo insists that he has 2, and he insists on one of those fouls was on Preston and not Leonard. I think that's going to be a losing fight for Coach Valajo. So 3 fouls on Hunter Leonard. He will swap out of the game. John Killingsworth enters, and that's a huge portion of the Sharks' offense gone for probably most of the rest of the first half. Deltona inbounds, attacking the basket to listeners left, 4 minutes to go. Down 6-5. Left-hand drive for Morales. He gets by Killingsworth, drives, his layup is off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound by Marcus Antoine, but he gets stripped by Preston underneath, and then Sharpton and Antoine dive on it, and it's going to be a held ball. Possession to Deltona off the possession arrow. Shark Tank is packed tonight. Cheerleaders making a lot of noise. Deltona brought a lot of parents and fans down from West Volusia as well. So excellent energy in the building. All right, Deltona inbounding under the basket that they attack to listeners left. 3:50 to go first quarter. Atlantic leads 6-5. Seven Simmons, who's just checked into the game for the Wolves, is the gunner. It works around back to the top for Morales. Morales to Simmons. Simmons double team to the left-hand corner. Now just Killingsworth on him and forces him to give up a bad pass and turn the ball over. Long pass ahead to Trey Sharpton, who cannot catch up to it, as that was just a poor pass by Rashad Small, who tried to get it to Sharpton in transition. As Deltona will control again. They've had the majority of the possession here early on, have the Wolves. Morales drives inside. Backdoor cutting pass to McKnight is going to go into the hands of Trey Sharpton. Atlantic turns the ball over. Sharpton tries to go coast to coast. Right-hand layup is good. Kiss it off the glass and in for Trey Sharpton. And it's 8-5. Atlantic with a 3-point lead. Morales controls between the circles. A lot of baseline movement underneath. Right side, here's Simmons. Works back to the top of the left-hand dribble. He'll fire a 3. It is too strong, but the rebound comes right back to Jermaine Jones. Jones, a 15-footer right-hand side, no good. A third offensive rebound is grabbed by Antoine. Morales now into the lane. Kicks back. 3 on the way from Jones. Too short. Diving out of bounds to try and save it is Morales, and he does. Another bite at the cherry for Deltona, and this one finally goes on a drive by Seven Simmons. And a timeout's going to be called by Atlantic. Exciting first couple of minutes of action. Do you want to get your business on the air in front of the Atlantic fans? If you would like to advertise via MJT Sports Productions, the official internet radio partner of Atlantic Athletics, please email AHS Athletic Director Shakia Brown at smbrown@volusia.k12.fl.us. And your business could be on air with the Sharks. Play hard, eat clean, love big, and start living your best life, because we're here to help heal what hurts, ease your mind, and lift your spirit with the latest medical innovation and whole person care. It's time to take control of your health. It's time to feel whole. Advent Health is a proud supporter of Volusia County School Athletics. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. Not a great look for the Sharks on that possession defensively, as Deltona got 4 open looks at it before finally putting a layup in. Nice 1-2 pass with a full court press. John Killingsworth is away, and he left the layup short. Good chance for the Sharks. There goes Begging. Into the front court, here's McKnight working on Omar Fateau, who's just checked in. Fateau blocks it, but a foul is going to be called, and Fateau looks completely shocked. They're going to get Omar Fateau for his first foul. He was the man that struggled, and when I asked Coach Valajo in the pregame interview about, how are they going to do when Preston and Badalato are off the floor, Preston is currently off the floor, and Fateau is in for him. Fateau had 3 fouls, no points on Tuesday night. First penalty shot up and no good from McKnight. This is his second trip to the line. Missed the first one on his last attempt, but made the second. With the Wolves trailing by 1-8-7, 2:26 to go in the first quarter. It's up, and it is good. So he is 2 for 4 from the line in the first quarter is McKnight, and now McKnight will exit. Marcus Brown, the 6'2 forward, comes into the game. Nice 1-2 pass. Trey Sharpton is in alone. He puts a layup up and in. So the Wolves played full court press, and it was just 1-2 quick passing like soccer in the middle of the pitch for a press break, and Atlantic lays it up and in for a 3-point lead. 10-7 is the score. 2:07 to go. Deltona controls out high to the right-hand side with Ja'Mai Jones. Back to the top. Here's Simmons. Simmons guarded by John Killingsworth. Simmons drives, throws the ball off his foot. Rashad Small puts the ball up and it charges forward for Killingsworth, and the ball is deflected out of play, and they're going to say it's off of Jexter Rude, who was racing back with Killingsworth. Rashad Small comes out of the game, and A.J. Guardino replaces him at point guard. So Atlantic, after a bit of a crazy stretch of play, will inbound in front of the Deltona bench. That's the listeners' right. They attack that basket as well. They lead 10-8, 1:50 to go first quarter. So what happened on that last sequence was Morales drove into the lane, got stripped, or dribbled it off his foot rather, got stripped by Rashad Small. Rashad Small threw it up to Killingsworth. Killingsworth chased after it. He wasn't going to get there, but Jex Morales, who was also chasing after it, bumped it out of bounds into the Deltona bench, and that is what gives Atlantic possession. Controlling off the inbounds pass is Trace Sharpton. Sharpton will be matched up with Ja'Mai Jones out high. Dribbles around a screen to Sharpton. Flashes to the right-hand corner for Fateau. Fateau takes a three, gets it blocked. Battle under the basket, won by Trace Sharpton. They're going to call a foul. It looks like it's going to be on Deltona, and it's going to be on Marcus Brown. And Coach Valajo just wants Trace Sharpton to just put that ball up and score it. And clearly, Brown was trying to get a tie-up under the basket. So the Sharks inbound under the basket, go straight into Badalato and gets stripped immediately by Ja'Mai Jones. Jones crosses the time stripe right to left, 1:28 to go first quarter. He works out high, guarded by Fateau. Guardino now will face Jex Morales, who backs him up all the way back to the Atlantic midcourt line. Morales, nice dribble to the left, puts it in his left hand, gets to the paint, and coughs it up. Fateau, long stretch pass to Killingsworth. He runs the floor, he lays it in. John Killingsworth ahead of the press, and Atlantic has a 12-8 lead. Now a quick press is broken by Deltona. They're into the front court with Simmons. Wing three from Ja'Mai Jones on a catch and shoot is good. So it's a 1-point Atlantic lead, 12-11 behind the back dribble for Sharpton gets into the front court. Open for three off a catch and shoot is Killingsworth. He missed it everything. The rebound comes down to Marcus Brown, and Deltona will control. 40 seconds to go first quarter, with the Wolves down by 1, 12-11. Simmons against Killingsworth, drives the lane, falls to the ground, and is going to draw the foul. And they're going to call it on A.J. Guardino. It'll be his first. It'll be team's fourth foul already. It should be fifth foul already, and it is. 3 on Leonard, who has 6 points to lead the Sharks, but he'll be out for most of the first half with 3 fouls already. Guardino just picked up 1, and now Fatou has 1. Deltona inbounding under the basket, goes straight to the top for Brian Fabiani, who's just checked in. Fabiani puts it in his left hand. Now to Carlos Sarud, who's also just came into the game. Simmons, drives against Guardino, pitches it under the basket, and it goes out of play. Last touch by Anthony Bottolato, so Deltona will maintain possession. And this is what a lot of the first quarter has been like. Deltona has controlled the pace of play, and most of Atlantic's scoring has been on fast break and press break opportunities, and the ball is bumped out of bounds off the inbounds pass. Trey Sharpton touched it last. Deltona still with possession. They'll inbound halfway up the Atlantic side of the court on the far side right. The gunner is Marcus Brown. He pitches it into Simmons. Simmons against Guardino, right at the top of the key. Back to the right-hand side, Sarud. Takes one dribble, fires a two-pointer from the baseline. That's no good. Running the floor again is the Sharks. Nice 1-2, crisp passing. Bottolato to Fatou to Killingsworth. And Killingsworth with a right-hand layup as time expires in the first quarter to give the Sharks a 14-11 lead. Wow, about that for frenetic basketball. We'll take a 30-second break and be right back. It's 14-11, Sharks on top of the Wolves. This is MJT Sports Productions' broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Well, in our pregame interview, Coach Valajo told me that he wants to try and stress breaking the press of Deltona today, and that's what the Sharks did in the first quarter, as John Killingsworth has 4 points off 2 transition buckets, and Trey Sharpton has 2 of his 4 off a transition bucket, and the Sharks have a 14-11 lead over the Deltona Wolves as we start the second quarter. Sharks will inbound. Will have the ball to start the second quarter. They'll attack the basket to listeners' right, wearing the all-white teal numbers, black trim, white Atlantic across the front in teal trim. A.J. Guardino will receive the inbounds pass and run the floor. He stands on the Atlantic logo at midcourt, matched up one-on-one with Simmons. He gets to Killingsworth, and Killingsworth, he hits a two-pointer running, but he traveled before he took the shot, so it'll be a turnover, Deltona ball. And that's just careless from John Killingsworth, took one too many steps. Deltona controls with Brian Fabiani. Fabiani baseline drive with the right hand, and it goes off of somebody in the scrum underneath and out of play. It will be off of a Shark. Looks like Trey Sharpton touched it last. And Emmanuel Preston, who sat most of the first quarter, surprisingly enough, gets set to check back in. 7:40 to go first half. Simmons, right-hand dribble drive, gets to the baseline, kicks left-hand corner for Sarud. He had Fatou closing on him fast, and Fatou bumps him, and Fatou's going to pick up his second foul. I love the energy Omar Fatou plays with, but he does tend to pick up those fouls. I mentioned 3 in almost a half of work on Tuesday against Tonnesville. In the ball comes, Deltona still controls with Simmons. He drives past Guardino, gets into the lane, tries to shovel it under the basket to Marcus Antoine. The ball deflects off of Antoine's hands out of play, so Atlantic will have possession. And in comes Emmanuel Preston. He will take Omar Fatou out of the ball game. So now the Sharks go back to their 3 forward, 2 guard lineup with Preston, Sharpton, and Bottolato in. The guards Killingsworth and Guardino. Guardino controls against the press, gonna try and run past it. He does, into the front court. Guardino just goes all the way to the lane, kicks to the right-hand side. Killingsworth, a long 2 from the right-hand wing is good, and up to 6 points was Killingsworth. It was a 2. Deltona back the other way. Simmons with a runner in the lane. It's good. Apologies, I was just getting confirmation of the last shot was a 2 or 3, and already Killingsworth is in the lane. Offensive foul as he barrels over Carlos Sarud. That'll be Killingsworth's first. So the score right now is 16-13. The Sharks over Deltona, but Deltona has the basketball. Brian Fabiani controls into the front court. He stands high right wing side, hands the ball back to the top between the circles for Simmons. Simmons Euro step into the lane, throws up a wild layup. It's good. Simmons has came to play tonight. Quick press break. Atlantic gets into the front court. Killingsworth controls in front of the Deltona bench. Now Sharpton at the top will run the point. He blows by Fabiani. He gets to the paint. His layup is no good, too strong, and the rebound is controlled by Marcus Brown of Deltona. In transition, here's Sarud into the paint. Euro step, layup no good, too strong, and Atlantic controls the board. Guardino, long stretch pass ahead to Killingsworth. Killingsworth could not control the pass, and it goes out of bounds over the baseline. Killingsworth will now come out. Rashad Small. And also Jex Morales comes back in for Deltona. Morales immediately running the point for the Wolves, the senior guard. Hands still at the top to Brian Fabiani. Fabiani almost traveled but gets the ball away. Couple of quick passes, the ball finds Simmons' hands, works off a high ball screen at the point. Guarded by Guardino. Now he puts the ball in his right hand, drives it. 3 from the corner for Morales is too strong, no good. Long rebound comes out to Bottolato, and it's going to travel with the basketball. He thought he was being held by by Marcus Antoine. He looks at the ref incredulously, and it is going to be Deltona ball. They'll inbound under the in front of the Sharks bench to listeners left. Marcus Brown, the gunner for the Wolves in their all royal blue uniforms. He pitches it back to the top, and Jex Morales controls for the Wolves. Morales, left-hand dribble drive, tries to get past Guardino. The ball goes out of play, deflected by Guardino, and it'll be Deltona to inbound in front of the Atlantic bench once again. 16-15, the slim Atlantic lead with 5:39 to go in the first half. They are going to give the ball to Atlantic after a conference of the referees saying the ball was last touched by Morales. So A.J. Guardino controls. High left wing side for Atlantic, tries to drive past Simmons. Into the corner, Rashad Small steps in, takes a long two, too strong. And the rebound is grabbed by Marcus Antoine, and then a whistle and a foul on the breakout. And they're gonna get Rashad Small with his first foul. And that's 8 team fouls, and it's gonna be a 1+1 already. As over in the corner, Justin Valajo, I can hear him imploring his players to stop fouling. And it's going to be a technical as well on Rashad Small. So Small now picks up 2 quick fouls, the personal and the tech. And so it's going to be technical free throws for Jex Morales. Morales bounces on his knees. It's the first one. Second technical free throw is up and good. Morales hits them both and gives the Wolves their second lead of the night. And so technical foul means 2 shots and the ball. So it's going to be 2 free throws for Atlantic. Oh, so the technical foul was not called on Small. The technical foul was called on Morales. Or maybe they both were called for a tech, because as Anthony Bottolato hits his first one, now into the second one, and he missed it. So the game is tied at 17. We'll see who they give the ball to. Confusion abounds here. 5:26 remaining. It's going to be Atlantic ball. So they did call the tech on Morales of Deltona. Guardino controls for the Sharks in a tie ball game at 17, 5:22 to play first half. Trace Sharpton now controls, his heels on the Atlantic logo. He now drives into the paint, gets a nice Euro step and lays it in. Trace Sharpton up to 6 points now as he drove right past Marcus Antoine to make that happen. Simmons now, past Guardino, into the paint, tries to go up and under. It hits the bottom of the rim and comes back right down into the hands of Emmanuel Preston. Sharpton now for the Sharks. He'll match up one-on-one with Brian Fabiani at the left-hand point. Hands straight, three on the way from Guardino, so-ish, it's good. A.J. Guardino extends the Sharks' lead. It's 22-17, 4:21 in the half. Brian Fabiani against Bottolato, right side baseline for Deltona. Pitches it back to the top, and around it comes for Sarud. Now Simmons controls it against Guardino. Simmons makes some space with a behind-the-back move. Long three will not go. Guardino grabs the long rebound, races into the front court, now waits for his teammates to get set. Guardino drives inside. Hook shot is no good and actually was blocked by Carlos Sarud. Long pass forward for Deltona, finds the hands of Brian Fabiani on the left-hand side, into the low post, up and around Preston goes Marcus Brown, and the putback is good by Marcus Antoine. 6 points for Antoine. Long pass into the front court, trying to find Preston on a press break, and it goes off of Preston's hands and out of bounds. So a 4-point lead for the Sharks, 22-19. As they tried to execute that same quick 1-2 pass that the Sharks have made work a couple of times, but the pass was too strong for Emmanuel Preston to hold on to. 3:55 and counting to go now in the first half. Deltona controls the ball, walking across the time stripe is Simmons with 3:48 to go. Sharks lead by 4, right-hand wing. Here is Sarud, back to the top for Jamae Jones. Jones around a screen, Sharpton switches onto him and steals the ball. Sharpton in a 1v1 against Jones, gets to the rim and lays it in with the left hand. And it's going to be a technical foul against somebody on Atlantic. And they're going to get Trace Sharpton for a technical foul. And so that is the second technical in this ballgame. The first one called against Jax Morales of Deltona. Now this one called on Trace Sharpton after a beautiful steal and then transition bucket. And it's going to be 2 free throws for Marcus Antoine. It's the first. This is his first trip to the line. And he hits them both, does Marcus Antoine. Antoine up to a team-high 8 for Deltona, and the Wolves will keep the basketball after the technical foul. Trace Sharpton does leave the game. Rashad Small comes back in for the Sharks. Deltona to inbound right at midcourt across from the scorer's table, and controlled by Carlos Sarud. Sarud left-hand drive, left-hand corner. Simmons is open for 3, catch and shoots. Swish, it's good. 9 points for Simmons as the Wolves tie the ball game with 4 quick points. 3:14 to go in the first half. John Killingsworth back to Bottolato, who crosses the time stripe. And A.J. Guardino will slow it down to the high left-hand wing. Left hand works to the corner, back to Rashad Small. Small almost stripped to the basketball, and it's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Deltona as Small was taken to the ground by Carlos Sarud and tied up, and Small is hot with himself for that. And Omar Fatou is getting set to check back in. We'll see who he comes in for. It's going to be for Rashad Small because I think Coach Valajo wants to have a chat with him. 24-all in a very intense first half here at the Shark Tank. Sharks and Wolves knotted up. 2:58 to go. Wolves will control, inbounding halfway in their own defensive half. They work right to left. Jamae Jones controls for the Wolves against Anthony Bottolato out high to the right-hand side. Switches to his left hand, drives the lane. A jumper from the free throw line is good for Jamae Jones. He's up to 5. Quickly into the front court. John Killingsworth, the beneficiary of a nice one-touch pass from Fatou. His layup's no good. Preston with the board. He throws up a wild layup. Coach Valajo wants a foul, won't get it, and Coach Valajo is going to be teed up. So Coach Vallejo was incensed that there was no foul called on the putback by Emmanuel Preston, and Marcus Antoine is at the line for 2 more free throws. He's going to miss the first one. The second free throw is up, and it is no good, so Antoine misses them both. The Wolves will get possession as well, with them leading 26-24. And Coach Vallejo wants a timeout. Tries to call timeout, he'll get it. So 30-second timeout. I think we're going to step aside as well. Everybody needs to cool down. 26-24, Wolves have the lead over the Atlantic Sharks. We'll take a 30-second timeout and be right back. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. As the official healthcare champion of Volusia County Schools, Advent Health is committed to providing championship caliber care with 4 hospitals, 4 urgent care centers, and 6 sports medicine and rehab locations across Volusia County. Advent Health is here to keep your student athlete off the sidelines and get them back in the game. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. As tempers boiling over here at the Shark Tank, the Deltona Wolves lead 26-24. There have been 3 technical fouls called in the first half. One on the Wolves' Jex Morales, one on Anthony Bottolato, and one on Coach Justin Vallejo for the Sharks. 2:21 to go. Long three on the way from Simmons. Back iron, no good. Offensive board grab by McKnight. McKnight tries to put one up, and he's going to be fouled. 2 shots coming for Deltona. And they're going to get Guardino for the foul, his second. So to the line for 2 free throws is Marcus McKnight. He is 2 for 4 from the line. This is his 3rd trip. And a chance to give a multiple possession lead to the Deltona Wolves with 2:14 to go in the first half. Misses the first one, as he has done on his previous 2 trips to the line. That is the 10th foul on the Sharks, so double bonus the rest of the way for the Wolves. Only 3 fouls on Deltona, and that may be one of Coach Vallejo's gripes. In fact, I know it is. 1 of 2 from the line goes McKnight, 27-24. The 3-point lead for Deltona. Anthony Bottolato controls, working left to right. Still in his own half. Now he crosses the timeline. He's going to drive all the way to the baseline. Right-hand runner is good. So Bottolato finally on the score sheet. 26-27, a 1-point lead for Deltona. They control. 1:56 to go. Simmons working against Guardino on the Atlantic logo at midcourt. His heels near the midcourt line. Works to his left-hand dribble. Back to the right-hand wing. Finds Carlos Sarud. Sarud works inside against Fateau. And the ball goes out of bounds off of Marcus McKnight. And it's going to be Atlantic basketball, a chance to tie or take the lead down by 2 with 1:43 to go first half. Bottolato, the gunner, full court press coming, and he turns the ball over to Sarud. The ball goes out of bounds off Sarud. He couldn't control it. Bottolato just pitched it right to Carlos Sarud of Deltona, and Sarud almost thought, well, where's this? How did I get this ball? Didn't know what to do with it, and just tossed it out of bounds. Now Bottolato looking for an inbounds pass, finds it to Killingsworth. Killingsworth across the time stripe, guarded by Simmons. 1:33 to go first half. Killingsworth against Simmons, back to Bottolato. Stop and go at the top of the key. Bottolato now can't dribble, has to force up a tough shot and hits it. 15-foot fadeaway with the right hand. And it's 28-28, 1:15 to go first half. High left wing. It's controlled by Carlos Sarud. Now back to the top for Simmons. Sarud, left-hand corner, catch and shoot 3, too strong. Bottolato pulls down the board. Bottolato races past the scorer's table, 1 minute to go and counting in the half. And he's stripped to the basketball by Simmons. The ball is still being fought for in front of the bench. Timeout by Deltona as they was fighting with the ball by John Killingsworth. And I believe that's Jex Morales was fighting for the ball on the ground, trying to tie it up because Atlantic would have had the possession arrow, but nice move by Brad Frazier, the Deltona coach. 20 years experience for Frazier in Kentucky, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida. Again, he coached at Atlantic for one season back in 2019. That team went 13-13. Sharks fans, basketball season is here and in full swing, and you can catch all the action from the Shark Tank live on MJT Sports Productions, the official internet radio home of your Atlantic Sharks. Be sure to like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter, all at MJT Sports Productions, so you never miss a moment of the action. Let's go Sharks. We've got a 28-28 end-to-end high-octane action ball game here with 55 seconds left to go in the first half. Deltona controls, attacking the basket to listeners left with 7. Simmons throws the ball out of bounds as he didn't know where Jamae Jones was. He thought he was in the corner. He was actually closer to the wing, and it's going to be Atlantic basketball, but the full court press comes from Atlantic. Shoveled into Killingsworth, who controls against Simmons. 42 seconds to go in the half. Killingsworth crosses the time stripe, 39. High left wing against Simmons, works to the corner, floats into the paint for Preston. Preston goes up, gets it blocked. Second attempt, he's going to go to the line. The shot was not good, but it looks like they're going to get Carlos Sarud for a foul. Yep, they are going to get Sarud his first. And to the line for the first time in the game, for the second time in the game is Emmanuel Preston. He's 0 for 2. The first Atlantic possession, actually, of the ball game, Preston got fouled going up for a layup and missed them both. And he's now 1 for 2 as his first penalty shot hits the back iron and falls in. Second shot up and good, so Preston hits them both, 30-28. A 2-point lead for the Sharks. Deltona controls, cross the time stripe right to left, controlled by 7 Simmons. Simmons hands to Marcus McKnight. McKnight drives and gets it blocked by Preston. A huge block at the rim. Sharks have an odd man rush if they hurry. Fateau in the left-hand corner, throws it all the way back to the right-hand corner. Back to the top for Bottolato. Under the middle for Preston. He goes to the lane, gets the foul. Oh, no, they're going to call it. Oh, they're going to call a foul on Jones of Deltona. No, they're going to call it, they're going to call it on Sarud. And it's going to be an and-one situation for Emmanuel Preston. I've been waiting the whole half for Emmanuel Preston to get it going. He hits the and-one, and the Sharks have a 33-28 lead. Waiting a little bit for the ball to be put back in play. Deltona has 11 seconds to try and get something off here, down 33-28 at the half. Simmons trying to go coast to coast. Layup no good. Rebound Sarud. He fires one up with the right hand and it's good as the whistle or horn, goes. So it's going to be a 3-point lead for the Atlantic Sharks at halftime. We'll take a short break to tally the scores and totals and be right back. There is a lot to talk about from this first half. Once again, your score at halftime, the Atlantic Sharks 33, the Deltona Wolves 30. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. It is halftime here at the Shark Tank. It is the Atlantic Sharks varsity boys basketball team 33, the Deltona Wolves 30 in a hotly contested contest. Let's get you the scoring totals. First for the Deltona Wolves, Simmons leads the way with 9, Antoine has 8, Jones has 5, McKnight has 3, Morales and Serud have 2. And for the Atlantic Sharks, it's points by committee on their side. Sharpton leads the way with 8. Leonard has 6, but also has 3 fouls. Killingsworth has 6. Preston has 5. He was on the bench for a lot of the first quarter and then on the floor, but kind of invisible until right the end of the second half because they've been. I'm trying to get my thoughts out here and try to also calm down from a crazy first half that saw 3 technicals called, lots of high energy on both sides. So Preston, they've been guarding him well, and the Sharks have not been able to get that floater into the lane, float pass for him to catch with the right hand, transfer to his left, and then put up a left-hand hook like he did so well against Titusville on Tuesday night. And I think the main reason for that is they've just got the size to match up with Preston. They've got the 6'5", the 6'5" Marcus Antoine is doing a great job guarding him. They've got Jermaine Jones at 6'4", but he's got a really long wingspan who's done a good job guarding him. And to finish out my point totals here, Anthony Bottolato has 5 points. One thing the Sharks did well early on in the half, but then kind of got away from, is breaking the full court press of Deltona, and they got, I'd say, 10 of their 30 points off of just quick 1-2 passing out of the full court press. Somebody running beyond, be it John Killingsworth, be it Anthony Bottolato, be it Trey Sharpton running behind the defense. And now, after a couple of times that happened, Deltona started leaving one man back, primarily the point guard, and to shut down that easy 1-2 pass for an easy bucket for Atlantic. There is one more interesting item of note. 3 technical fouls were called in that first half, 2 on Atlantic, 1 on Deltona. The one on Deltona was on Jex Morales, and the 2 on Atlantic, one was on one was on Trace Sharpton, and the other was on Coach Valajo for complaining about a perceived no call on a Emmanuel Preston layup. 3 minutes to go until the second half begins. We'll take that long and then be right back. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Stay tuned. Back at the Shark Tank on the campus of Atlantic High School. Second half action about to tip off between the Atlantic Sharks boys varsity team and the Deltona Wolves. The Sharks have a 33-30 lead. They'll start with the basketball wearing the all-white strip, teal numbers, black trim, black fin design down the sides. And Rashad Small controls for the Sharks. Walks across the time stripe. Here we go. Hunter Leonard, who's got 3 fouls, pitches it all the way left-hand corner into the middle for Badalato. Badalato has it poked out of his hands by Morales, and it comes back to Trey Sharpton all the way to the right-hand corner. Leonard controls. He was out most of the first half because he picked up 3 quick fouls in the first quarter. Shoveled underneath the Preston, tries to go up strong and gets it blocked by Marcus Antoine. Quickly ahead. Here's McKnight. Right-hand lay-in is good. Excellent presence of mind by Marcus Antoine to find McKnight running free after the blocked shot. Leonard, high left-hand side, underneath the basket is Badalato, gets his defender in the air, puts up a shot, no good, but a foul. And they're gonna get Jamae Jones for that. That's his first. And it's gonna be a 2-shot foul for Anthony Badalato. 1 of 2 from the line so far today for Badalato. Badalato, a very lanky 6'4", long wingspan. He puts the first shot up, no good, missed it too strong. The Sharks are 3 of 4 from the line so far tonight, now 4 of 5, as the second one from Badalato is in and good. 34-32, the Sharks on top. Here's Morales. Hands right side, and again to Jamae Jones. Jones gets into the paint, and they're going to call a blocking foul as he went up for a layup. They're going to get Trey Sharpton with it. That's Sharpton's second. And the Sharks got to be careful here. This is not like Tuesday night against Titusville where you've got a 25-30 point lead and can afford to give some fouls because the bench players can come into the game. In a game like this, you're going to have to keep your best players on the floor as long as possible. And a couple of quick fouls for Atlantic early on in this second half would do them no good at all. 2-shot penalty coming. The first one is up and good by Jamae Jones. This is Jones's first trip to the line tonight. He had 5 points in the first half, a 2 on a layup, and a right wing corner 3. Jones, a 6'4", tall, lanky righty, puts it up too strong, but Antoine grabs the miss. It comes right to Trey Sharpton, though, and Atlantic can attack. Left-hand side for Sharpton. He has about 4 inches on Morales, who is guarding him, but he chooses to pitch it back to the top, and Rashad Small will control the offense. Small left-hand side, Sharpton again, into the post for Badalato. Gets his defender in the air, goes underneath, and Badalato scores the basket with the left hand. 3-point lead for the Sharks, 36-33. Morales drives, kicks right-hand corner, 3 on the way, 2 strong from Jones. Hunter Leonard with the board for Atlantic, quickly into the front court for Sharpton. 1 extra pass finds Badalato free underneath, and Badalato has 4 quick points to lead, 38-33 for the Sharks. Morales controls, gets it back from McKnight, now works left hand, and that's gonna be a 4th foul as they're gonna get a block called on Hunter Leonard. So that's really tough because Hunter Leonard is one of the highest work rate guys the Sharks have. He's aggressive on both ends of the floor. Maybe that's why he has 4 fouls, but he's a great 3-point shooter, really the only truly great 3-point shooter the Sharks have this season, and he's got great hops on the inside, can play forward and guard. Can play both forward and guard. He now has 4 fouls, so the same situation that the Sharks were in the first half is they're going to have Hunter Leonard sit for most of the second. John Killingsworth in his place. Morales at the point, dribbles it off his foot, but gets it back to the right-hand corner. Here's Jamae Jones working on Badalato. Jones now draws a double team from Sharpton as well and has to cycle it back up to the top for Morales. Morales, a native of Puerto Rico, doesn't speak much English, goes up and under, decides to pass and not shoot into the middle, and a layup is no good from Antoine, but he will draw a foul. And it's gonna be on Preston. That is Preston's first. Somehow Preston has stayed out of foul trouble. Usually it's him and Omar Fatou that are ones drawing the fouls for the Sharks. At least last season, that's how it was. But 2-shot penalty coming up, and the first one bounces off the back of the rim and no good for Marcus Antoine. He had 8 points in the first half and was 2 for 4 at the line, now 2 for 5. Antoine's second, swish, it's good. And the lead is just 4 for the Sharks, 38-34. Expect this one to be a very close game all the way down the stretch. I don't expect either team to go on a big run here. They've been very evenly matched. It's been a very high-octane contest so far. You hear Brad Fraser shouting instructions to his defense as Rashad Small pitches it left-hand wing to Sharpton. Sharpton into the high post, Bottolato. Underneath, and a travel. Took one too many steps as he was trying to get Marquise McKnight in the air, and the Sharks turn the ball over. And that's a turnover that the Sharks really do not want to have at a game this close, and that's probably going to be this close down the stretch. Off a screen, Morales, left high wing side. He's got it by John Killingsworth. Killingsworth now has Preston switch on to him. Morales drives, foul. And looks like they're going to get it on Preston again. Nope, they're going to get it on Rashad Small, his second. Already the 4th team foul. That's the big issue, and I think I'm going to take this up with Coach Valajo before the next game, is of the foul situation. A lot of them have been reach-ins and have been, non-shooting fouls. Nice pass, 1-2, open for a 15-footer is Marquise McKnight, and he knocks it down. 4 quick points for McKnight in this third quarter, lowers the gap to 2, 38-36, 4:50 to go in the third. Bottolato tried to rifle it in towards Preston and turns the ball over to Jones. Ja'Mai Jones, coast to coast, up with the left hand, no good, foul called, blocking foul called. And Trace Sharpton and Anthony Bottolato both are incredulous. They're gonna get Anthony Bottolato with the foul, his first team's 5th. And again, Ja'Mai Jones is gonna head to the free throw line, his second trip of the quarter. And Coach Valajo just telling his team not to force it, because that's what led to that last attempt. First free throw up and no good off the front of the iron for Ja'Mai Jones. As Brian Fabiani gets set to check in, Jones's second free throw is up, and it is good. So 1 for 2 both times in the line for Jones. 1 point game, 38-37. As Jones checks out, after making that free throw, Brian Fabiani checks in for the Wolves. Rashad Small controls for the Sharks across the time stripe with 4:35. Bottolato shuffles it left-hand side. Open 3, look for Sharpton, no good. Ball is deflected out of bounds. It's going to be Wolves' ball, as Killingsworth was the last to touch it, as he and Marquise McKnight battled for the long rebound. McKnight inbounds the ball to Morales. Morales against his opposite number, Small, gets a screen, works to the baseline with his left hand. Step back jumper, missed everything. Sharpton gonna grab the rebound, but a foul, and it's gonna go against Atlantic. And it's gonna be on Small, his third, so fouls quickly racking up for the Sharks. Small has 3, Leonard has 4, he's on the bench. Fateau has 2, Guardino has 2, Killingsworth, Preston, and Bottolato each have 1. And Coach Valajo wants a timeout. He wants a full timeout, so we'll take 30 seconds and be right back. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Back at the Shark Tank, Atlantic Sharks basketball. The boys varsity team leads the Deltona Wolves 38-37, and the entire full timeout, Coach Valajo was in the ear of the referee trying to get some sort of help and wondering why some things are not being called. There's 6 fouls on the Sharks, only 1 on the Wolves, and to the line for a 2-shot penalty goes Jex Morales. And the first one is good, so it's a tie game, 38-38. And it's good, he hits them both. So the score should be, I believe, 39-38. It may also be 38-38. It is 38-38, so 4:10 to go with Sharks control, attacking the basket to listeners left. Trace Sharpton has it all the way to the right-hand corner, a pass. Killingsworth catch and shoot off the iron, no good. Preston battling for the rebound, but it's won by Marcus Antoine, who had better position. Morales backs off of Small. Left-hand drive from Morales, and he double dribbled. So the Sharks will get the ball back. Rashad Small goes out. A.J. Guardino will come back in. Guardino controls for the Sharks, fresh off the bench. Gets it back and pitches it to the right-hand corner. Now gets it back from Killingsworth, dribbles it off a foot kick ball, and it'll stay with the Sharks as it was off the foot of Marquise McKnight. Tie ball game at 38. Underneath the basket off the inbounds pass. They caught the defense sleeping, and Emmanuel Preston lays it in, and Coach Frazier is not happy. Preston was in the middle of 3 players, and he just caught the ball and laid it in unopposed. Here's Morales working in front of his own bench. Double dribbles again. This time he was matched up against the about a foot taller Emmanuel Preston. And it's another turnover, and the Sharks have a chance to push the lead. They currently have a 40-38 lead. Left-hand corner. Here's Sharpton working on Morales. Sharpton is going to draw the contact and the foul on Morales, not in the act of shooting. And Morales is bemused. He thinks he got hit upside by a shoulder, but it's going to be Morales' second. So Atlantic under the basket that they attack to listeners left. A.J. Guardino will be the gunner. Guardino looking for an opening. Bounce pass, Preston in the high post. Guardino gets it back, shuffles around, wing 3 from Sharpton. Front post and out. Preston grabs the O board. He tries to put it back up, but it's a foul. They're going to catch Marquise McKnight with it, I believe. They are going to catch Marquise McKnight. That's his first. And Emmanuel Preston will get a chance to go to the line where he is 3 for 5 on the night. 3:04 to go. Sharks with a slim 2-point advantage here in this third quarter. Preston's first is no good. Too strong. Brad Frazier, the Deltona coach, imploring his team to box out. Preston not the most high percentage free throw shooter. As the entire time Preston's been at the line. His second shot is up and no good. Missed them both. And Morales controls off the rebound by Fabiani. Morales trying to go coast to coast, dribbles it off his foot, gets it back, and it is a blocking foul in the middle as Marcus Antoine drove right through, and they're going to get Trace Sharpton for his third, and the foul's piling up. It's going to be a 1-and-1 because that's the 7th team foul on Atlantic. Sharpton feels like he had position and had his feet set. The referees saw otherwise. And there's going to be a lot of free throws shot, especially from the Deltona side coming down the stretch here in this second half. Antoine at the line for his second trip of the half. First one is up, and he missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Quickly the other way, Guardino into the middle for Killingsworth. Left-hand corner. Bottolato back to the top for Sharpton as Deltona switches to zone. Killingsworth, baseline jumper off a catch and shoot, no good. Preston tried to go for the rebound. He stepped on the baseline. Deltona ball. Marcus Brown checks in. Marquise McKnight goes out for Deltona. 2:35 to go third quarter. This third quarter is kind of crawled by, seemingly. Morales gets into the front court. He's one-on-one with A.J. Guardino. Draws a screen. Atlantic switches Killingsworth onto him. Now Simmons back in the game for the Wolves. He had a first half high 9 points. Into the corner, Morales to shoot. It's up, it's good. Swish from the right-hand corner for Morales. And it's a 41-40. Deltona Wolves lead. The royal blue and gray jerseys back on top. Guardino in the middle, left-hand corner. Sharpton thought about a three, got it by Morales. Now will drive baseline, kick out Bottolato. Straight on three, too strong. Rebound comes down to Simmons after a deflection. Simmons. Try to go coast to coast, kick to the right-hand corner, three on the way, and it's no good front iron. Killingsworth fighting for the rebound, he got it, and then he travels as he tried to push the ball ahead, and it would have been an easy lay-in for Trey Sharpton, and Sharpton will now go out. That's tough luck on Guardino, because he had Sharpton running free and behind, just took one too long of a step, or too many steps rather, before he shoveled the ball ahead. Deltona controls, halfway inside their own half. They're attacking the basket, the listeners left in this second half. 1:35 to go in it. Morales trapped, gets a screen to get by Guardino, gets to the paint, floater no good. Offensive board, put back is good by Antoine. And it's a 3-point lead for Deltona. 1:21 to go third quarter. Guardino controls. Deltona not showing any pressure. He tries to throw it to the left-hand wing for Killingsworth. It's batted out of bounds by Simmons, and it'll be Sharks ball again off an inbounds pass. Bottolato will be the gunner. Gets it to Guardino. Sharks are gonna have to start knocking some of these down here. Guardino away up top. Jab step, left-hand corner for two, has to jump to get it back to Guardino in the high post. Nice passing, baseline is Bottolato, tries to go up and under, travels. Another travel by the Atlantic Sharks, this one from Anthony Bottolato as he tried to put a layup up and under. Valajo imploring his team to get a stop with 55 seconds to go in the third quarter, down by 3. Morales drives past Guardino, shuffles it under the paint, and a dunk. Slam dunk, backdoor pass, finds Antoine, and two-hand jam. It's a 9-0 run for the Deltona Wolves, and they've opened up a 5-point cushion, 45-40. Sharks looking for something to end the quarter. Pass into the paint, deflected. Back inside, it comes for Preston, and he's gonna get grabbed. And it looks like another technical foul might be coming for Jex Morales. So they're gonna get Fabiani for the foul. So technical foul is on 5. That's his second. So Emmanuel Preston's going to shoot 2 technical free throws, and the Sharks will get the ball. So Preston misses the front end of a 1-and-1. I'm sorry, there's a lot happening here at the tables. We're trying to get the refs. The score table is trying to tell the refs that is Morales' second technical. Preston at the line, his second technical free throw is good, 1 for 2 that time. And finally the run breaks for Deltona. The Sharks will get the ball back. They did get Fabiani for a foul, Morales with a technical foul. Now, Anthony Bottolato is setting up to shoot free throws, and there is confusion abounding here. All right, Brad Fraser is taking a timeout. We'll take a timeout with him to short this one up, and we'll be right back. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Back at the Shark Tank, confusion still abounds. Brad Frazier wanted Atlantic to have 41 points when they have 42. So Bottolato now at the free throw line for 2 technical free throws as well as Preston. He hits the first one, bringing the score to within 2, 43-45. So I'm not sure why the Sharks are shooting 2 technical free throws, or 4 technical free throws, as Bottolato misses the second, so it's still a 2-point game. So Atlantic will keep the ball. 45-43, the Wolves lead, and they're going to talk to the scoring books, and I will listen in. So currently what's happening is they're trying to confirm the score of 45-43. So the score is right, 45-43. Sharks down by 2 after shooting 4 free throws. They have the ball. They'll attack the basket. The listeners left. Here we go. A.J. Guardino controls. This has been a wild sequence here. 17 seconds to go, third quarter. Guardino now tries to run a play after he stood there for a minute. For 2, into the post. Bottolato, it hangs on the rim and goes from a left-hand layup from Bottolato. Quickly comes Morales, stop and go in the paint. Long 2 as he backed up at the horn is no good. We go to the fourth quarter. It's all tied up at 45 between the Sharks and the Wolves. Confusion abounds. Technical fouls are everywhere. We'll be back to close this one out with the final 8 minutes. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Stay with us. Okay, back for the fourth quarter. We have finally solved the double technical issue on Jex, and they're going to get Jex for an over and back immediately off the inbound to give the ball back to the Sharks. The technical foul was actually on Fabiani, and the common foul was on Jex Morales. So now that is sorted out. Trey Sharpton comes back in, replacing for 2. And here we go. 7:55 and counting. Sharks control, attacking the basket to listeners left. Trey Sharpton throws it all the way to Guardino. Bottolato at the free throw line. Double team, tries to throw a wild layup up, and he traveled. That's the third travel of the second half on Anthony Bottolato. And he looks disappointed. Wolves control as into the front court comes Jex Morales. Morales will draw the foul on A.J. Guardino, and it's going to be a 1-and-1. So Guardino picks up his third foul. It was just running Morales was just running from right to left across the top of the free throw line. The first of a 1-and-1 is good for Morales. Morales still perfect from the free throw line tonight. 5 of 5, and this will be his 6th coming up, second half of a 1-and-1. Into his motion, and it is no good. Rebound by Trey Sharpton. Killingsworth back to Sharpton at the top. Sharpton trying to spin past Marcus Brown, and A.J. Guardino controls, and now Sharpton again into the low post for Preston. It comes to Killingsworth off a deflection, and a foul is called as Preston went up for a layup. It came off of Emmanuel Preston's knee. The pass was originally intended for him, and they're going to get Marcus Brown for his second foul. So John Killingsworth will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Killingsworth very quiet in the second half after he had 6 first half points, most of that on press break, and he was running free behind the defense. So now Killingsworth has a chance for 2 shots. I said at the end of the third quarter there's going to be a lot of free throws being shot here in this fourth, and the first one for the Sharks is missed by Killingsworth. Couple of changes for the Wolves. McKnight comes back in, as does Simmons. Killingsworth's second free throw is off the rim and in. So it's 46-46 at the tie game again. Quick press comes from the Sharks, but Alice gets it across to Simmons. Underneath the basket it goes to Argus Antoine. Antoine is upended by Trey Sharpton, but they're not going to call a foul. He just deflects the ball out of bounds. Atlantic basketball. So now Atlantic, after suffering through the press for most of the game, brings it themselves, and it leads to an empty possession. Guardino in control. 46 all the score, 7 minutes even to go in the game. Trey Sharpton controls up top, nobody guarding him. He thought about a 3. Into the low post for Bottolato. Nice extra pass to Killingsworth, and a huge rejection by Marcus Antoine on a layup by Killingsworth. Marcus Antoine is something special. Senior forward, 6'5". He has a 2-hand jam tonight. He has a couple of big blocks. He has shut down the 3 bigs of Atlantic very well. Into the corner, Sharpton, catch and shoot off the inbounds pass, no good. Preston with the offensive rebound, fought for and ripped away by Morales. Ahead, it goes to Antoine, stop and go, blocked from behind was the layup by Preston, and the Sharks come away with it the other way. Sharpton, try to go coast to coast, bounce pass to Killingsworth, who lays it in. End-to-end action, just like in the first quarter. It had slowed down a little bit, but now the frenetic pace from both sides has returned. Simmons into the corner. 3 on the way from Jones. Whistle. We're going to get a blocking foul on Anthony Bottolato, and it's going to be 3 free throws coming up for Jones. Jermaine Jones fired a catch-and-shoot 3 from the corner, and I think he just got barely tapped on the wrist by Bottolato, and his first 3 free throws is no good from Jones. Jones, the long, lanky senior, into his sophomore, into his windup, and he hits the second one. 1 shot coming. With the Sharks up by just 1, this could tie the game, and it does. Swish, it's good. And Coach Valajo was not happy about something. And they're going to call A.J. Guardino for a push, and so it'll be 2-shot penalty on Jermaine Jones. And A.J. Guardino just comes over to the scores table and is incredulous. That's Guardino's 4th, and Jermaine Jones is back at the line for 2 more shots with a chance to give Deltona the lead. It's currently tied 48-48. First free throw up and good. Wolves have the lead. 6:25 to go. The second of 2 free throws from Jermaine Jones is rattled in. 2-point lead for the Wolves, 50-48. Rashad Small back in for Guardino, who has 4 fouls, but Small has 3, so he's got to be careful. Sharpton, left-hand wing. Works back to the top, fires across to Killingsworth, baseline drive, pick and pop from 20 feet. Preston with the rebound, another block by Marcus Antoine. The ball goes out of play. It's going to be Sharks ball as Antoine rejected the putback from Emmanuel Preston. And it looks like Hunter Leonard is going to set to check back in. Leonard has 4 fouls, 6:07 to go. Risky play by Coach Valajo here to put him back in with this much time remaining. But the Wolves are up by 2. Leonard off the inbounds pass. Bottolato drives baseline, puts up a floater. Good from Bottolato. 50-50. Morales controls out high. Hands to Simmons around a screen. He's matched up against Hunter Leonard, remember, who has 4 fouls. They switch Small onto him. Morales drives, kicks back up to the top. Simmons steps around a defender, fires a 3, it's good. That is Simmons' first points of the half. 53-50, the Wolves lead. 5:30 to go in the game. Rashad Small controls for Atlantic. It's getting loud here in the Shark Tank. Hunter Leonard all the way across to the right-hand corner. Trace Sharpton fires a 3. It rims out. Rashad Small fights for the rebound and gets it. And he's tried to pass it away to Leonard. And where's the ball going to go? It was fought for by Small and Simmons, and it's going to be Sharks ball as it went into the Sharks bench. Took the referees a little bit of time to make that call. Bottolato, the gunner, in front of their own bench, gets it back from Sharpton, drives the lane, and another travel by Anthony Bottolato. That's the 4th in the second half, as he just receives a quick pass that tries to drive the lane. I think he takes one too many steps before he dribbles, is what's the problem with Anthony Bottolato on that play, because it's happened now 4 times. So the Wolves will get it. They're up by 3. Looking to get over 500 for the first time this year. They're certainly sitting at 1-1. Simmons controls off a pass from Morales. Between the circles. Backdoor cutting pass to McKnight. Left-hand layup is good for McKnight. 5-point lead for the Wolves. 6th point of the half for McKnight. Sharpton on a pass from Small. Behind the back dribble to try and get away from Morales, who is just hounding him. Now it's thrown under the basket for Bottolato, and he stepped on the baseline before he laid it up. Another turnover from Anthony Bottolato gives the Wolves a chance to extend the lead. They're up by 5, 4:39 to go, and it's going to be an offensive foul. They're going to get 7 Simmons for an illegal screen. I thought that's what it was, but was waiting for confirmation from the official. That's 7 Simmons' first foul. So the Sharks will get a chance to lower the gap. It's 55-50 the score. If I am the Sharks, I want to try and draw something up. No free throws, offensive foul. Sharks control, no free throws on an offensive foul, down by 5. I'd be trying to get Hunter Leonard open for a 3-point shot. Killingsworth, then Bottolato fires a 3 from straight on. No good, missed everything but the backboard. And Brad Frazier implores his team to slow down, try to grind out the rest. 4 minutes and 19 seconds. Simmons drives past Leonard to the paint. Simmons, a floater, no good. Killingsworth controls off the miss. Quickly into the front court. Trace Sharpton, 3 in transition. Back iron, no good. He's trying to grab the rebound, but Morales gets it. Into the front court, all the way coast to coast. Puts up a stop-and-go jumper, no good. Battle for the rebound underneath is won by Jermaine Jones, and Deltona controls. Simmons thought about a 3, won't take it. Then travels with the ball as he tried to drive the lane. Timeout. Coach Justin Valajo wants to talk it over. 3:52 to go. Sharks down by 5. It's time you feel your best, physically, mentally, and spiritually. To be centered and supported. To feel the power of a world-class healthcare network coming together to help you take control of your health. It's time to feel whole. Advent Health is a proud supporter of Volusia County School Athletics. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. If you're enjoying tonight's broadcast, be sure to hit the like button on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and share the broadcast with other Sharks fans by clicking share or retweet. Thank you for supporting MJT Sports Productions and Atlantic Basketball. So Omar Fateau, out of the timeout, has checked in for Anthony Bottolato, and I think after he stepped on the baseline before putting a layup up on that last Atlantic possession, he asked Coach Valjo to take him out. So the Sharks control down by 5, 3:47 and counting. They attack the basket to listeners left. John Killingsworth will run the offense. Killingsworth right-hand side. Sharpton runs the floor, gets to the baseline, pass to Preston, who lays it in with the left hand. 55-52. The Wolves lead. Jex Morales trying to work around a screen, gets the ball to Simmons out high, guarded by Killingsworth. Simmons works to the paint, tried to dump it off underneath to McKnight. McKnight controls, gets it back to Simmons in a double team, throws it all the way up to the top and over the head of Morales. Quick pass in transition to Killingsworth. Killingsworth misses the layup. It was a great pass to find him in space from Leonard, and he missed the layup. Now back the other way. Jermaine Jones for Deltona. 3 in front of his own bench is no good, too strong. Long pass off the rebound from Sharpton, finds Leonard. Leonard gets to the paint, lays it in. Hunter Leonard finally back on the score sheet, and it's a 1-point game. 55-54, Wolves with the lead in the basketball. Morales guarded away out high, works around a screen, gets to the paint, gets his defender in the air, that's for 2, puts up a tough underhanded shot, won't go, gets his own miss. Thought about a put back, and a foul is called. They're going to get Omar Fateau with his third, and Jex Morales is going to get 2 free throws to try and extend the lead. It's currently 55-54 for the Wolves. Up and off the front of the iron, no good for Morales on his first attempt. Second attempt, the building gets loud, it's up, it's no good. Offensive board by Marcus Antoine, and then a foul is going to be called by Preston as he tried to rip the ball out of Marcus Antoine's hands. That's the second on Preston, who has done well to stay out of foul trouble tonight. Omar Fateau goes over to him, telling him to pick his head up, because now it is Marcus Antoine at the line for 2 shots. Antoine, the 6'5" senior, off the back iron and no good on his first one. The Sharks are going to have to get a little bit lucky here with the Wolves free throw shooting. They have to this point, as they've missed their last 3. Marcus Antoine spins the ball in his right hand, now into his windup. Back iron, no good. Trace Sharpton boxes out and grabs the miss. 4 missed free throws on that possession for Deltona. Sharpton behind the back against Jermaine Jones to work it into the front court. Sharpton fires a 3. It's good! He got it from straight on! And it's a lead for the Atlantic Sharks, 57-55 on a dead-eye 3 from Trace Sharpton. 7 Simmons controls on Hunter Leonard. Leonard lets him go by, not wanting to commit that 5th foul. Back to Morales. Morales drives the lane, kicks right side to Jones. Jones back to the right-hand corner. 3 on the way, and no good for McKnight. Rebound to Killingsworth. He throws the ball into the front court, and it's intercepted by Jermaine Jones. Back inside Morales, left-hand corner. Step back 3 on the way from 7 Simmons is good. A third 3 of the ball game from 7 Simmons gives the Wolves a 1-point lead. 1:45 to go. This game keeps seesawing back and forth, and the crowd is giving them everything they got. And so are the players on the floor. John Killingsworth across to Trace Sharpton in front of his own bench. In the paint to to Preston. Trace Sharpton gets it back out high. Drives in, kicks the left-hand corner for 2, a 3. It's no good. And the rebound comes down to 7 Simmons, who out-jumped Emmanuel Preston. Wolves with a 1-point lead and the basketball, 1:10 to go. Simmons trying to drive past Killingsworth, can't do it on the first attempt. In front of the scorer's table, switches to his left hand, gets to the paint, throws it underneath. A layup is good for Marcus Antoine. 60-57, 3-point lead. 62-57, three on the way from the corner for the Sharks off a catch and shoot, no good. For two, skying for the rebound, it goes out of bounds. No, it's saved. It's saved by Simmons, and he got it to Morales, who stepped on the baseline. Coach Valajo is going to take his final 30-second timeout. We will take it with him. 41 seconds to go. The score right now, 62-57. The Wolves lead the Atlantic Sharks. We'll take 30 seconds and be right back. This is MJT Sports Productions' broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. .41 seconds to go in the ball game. Sharks down by 3. 60-57 is the official score. Sharks will inbound under the basket that they attack to Listender's left. Killingsworth the gunner. He bounce passes it to the left-hand corner. Hunter Leonard takes a three. He's fouled. No, he's not fouled. Bottolato gets the rebound in the corner. He gets to Leonard. Leonard drives the lane and one for Hunter Leonard as he drew the contact on Marcus Antoine. Off the bench, and potentially a clutch free throw coming here for Hunter Leonard to try and tie the game with 33.7 to go. Leonard, it is good, and the crowd erupts. 60-60, 37 seconds left. The Sharks do not have a timeout. Deltona have all their timeouts, and they're going to use one now. Brad Frazier calls one. Head coach Brad Frazier insists it should be 62-60 Deltona, but both books have it 60-60. 33.7 seconds to go. It is 60-60. These teams have not been separated by more than 5 points each way all night long. It's been a dogfight. Atlantic trying to stay undefeated, go to 3-0. Deltona trying to go to over 500 for the first time this season and start a winning streak with a victory in enemy territory. And this would be the second year in a row that Deltona has won on the road at Atlantic. Coach Valajo trying to fire up his boys on the sideline, as is Coach Frazier. Well, I thought before the game this would be the Sharks' biggest test so far this season, and it has been, and then some. 60-60, 33.7 left. And the Wolves are going to get the basketball. They're going to have an inbounds pass all the way under the basket that they've defended in the second half to Listeners left. Trey Sharpton brings pressure. Now Coach Valajo tells him to back off and let them inbound. Here we go. Here we go. 60-60. Morales across midcourt, guarded by Guardino. Morales gets past Guardino. Shoots from the free throw line, no good, gets his own miss. Works to the left-hand corner. Back to the top for Simmons. Simmons guarded up by Killingsworth. Simmons fires a three. No good, in and out. Deltona wanted a foul, they won't get it. Emmanuel Preston got the board. Guardino into the front court and a foul. They're going to get Antoine for a reach-in. It's Marcus Antoine's second foul. And it's going to be the 9th team foul, so a 1-and-1 coming for A.J. Guardino. It's 4.9 seconds to go. In front of a 7, Simmons is limping, favoring his left hand, or left foot rather. Coach Frazier wants a timeout, both to try and ice the shooter, A.J. Guardino, and to attend to his player, Simmons. Frazier, it's going to be a full timeout. We will keep it right here so I can keep talking. There is 4.9 seconds to go in the ball game. A.J. Guardino is about to go to the line for a 1-and-1 opportunity that could put the Sharks up by as many as 2 with just 4.9 seconds to go. On that last possession, Simmons launched a 3 from straight on over A.J. Guardino. The Deltona bench screamed that there should be a foul as Simmons fell to the ground. He got up limping. There was no foul called. Atlantic got the ball across the front court, and then a reach-in foul was called on Marcus Antoine as he reached in, trying to strip the ball from A.J. Guardino. That is the situation here. So clutch shooting coming up for A.J. Guardino. Let's see if he can make one or both of these free throws. Remember, it's just a 1-and-1. So the first one is very, very important. This was a full timeout for Deltona. Big pressure on the free throws coming up for A.J. Guardino. He only has 3 points in the game, a single solitary 3 in the first quarter. And it looks like Brad Frazier's going to call a second timeout. He does. 30-second timeout. Continuing to ice A.J. Guardino. He knows this is like at the end of a football game when someone is lining up to kick a field goal to win or tie, and the opposing coach is icing the kicker. This is exactly what is happening. Brad Frazier is calling these timeouts to let A.J. Guardino stew in his own mind. Think about these free throws, and especially the first one that is coming up shortly that could decide the fate of this ball game. Deltona down to 1 timeout. Guardino is now at the free throw line. The Shark Tank rises to his feet. This first free throw is very important. Guardino into his motion. It's good. A.J. Guardino hit the front end of a 1-and-1. Now he's got to hit the second one to make sure Deltona does not get a chance at a quick 3 to win it, or quick 2 to win it. Guardino into his motion, it's good. Swished them both right through there. I think Frazier's gonna have to call his last time out. 4 seconds, he doesn't take it. In Morales into the corner. 3 on the way from Simmons. No good, no good, no good. Simmons missed everything, and the Sharks win. The Sharks win 62-60. Atlantic is 3-0 for the first time since 2018. What a ball game and what a finish. A.J. Guardino, ice in the veins of the senior guard, hitting 2 clutch free throws at the end to give the Sharks the win over Deltona, 62-60. What a finish from the Shark Tank. Both teams shake hands. The Sharks jump around and celebrate on their home floor a massive victory here tonight at home. We will take 30 seconds to tally the stats and figures and be right back. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Back here at the Shark Tank Gymnasium to wrap up what was a wild early season encounter as the Atlantic Sharks defend their home court barely. 62-60, the final score. They win this one over the Deltona Wolves. It took 2 clutch free throws by A.J. Guardino and some clutch shooting down the stretch by Trace Sharpton as well. Here are your final scoring totals. First for the Deltona Wolves. They had 2 with 15. Simmons and Antoine both had 15 points. Jones had 11. McKnight had 9, Morales had 8, and Sarud had 2. And for the Atlantic Sharks, tying the game-high 15 was Anthony Bottolato. Sharpton had 11, including a big clutch 3 to bring the scores level with 33 seconds to go. Emmanuel Preston had 10. Hunter Leonard also had 11, despite playing with multiple fouls for the majority of the game. Also hit some clutch shooting down the stretch, did Leonard. And a big and 1 in the last quarter as well. 5 for A.J. Guardino, 9 for John Killingsworth. That gives you your final score, 62-60. The Atlantic Sharks barely scraped by the Deltona Wolves here at the Atlantic Gymnasium, also known as the Shark Tank tonight. Up next for Deltona, they've got a tough one. They go back home to the home of the Wolves. They play University on the 3rd. That's tomorrow night, so they can't really stand on ceremony. Got to pick themselves up and get back at it. Coming up next for Atlantic, 2 road games against Cavalry Christian on Saturday, and then in the 9th against Father Lopez. Those are going to be 2 tough games, especially the game against Father Lopez. The next time you will hear my voice on the air is the 10th. That is, well, at least calling a boys game. Girls game next Monday. Boys game, they're hosting Crescent City, a game that Atlantic only won last season on a buzzer-beating 3 up in Gainesville. So that's going to be a tough matchup. Tune into that one on the 10th. Once again, your final score from the Shark Tank. The Atlantic Sharks 62, the Deltona Wolves 60. My name is Michael Trebillo. Thank you so much for listening to both of our broadcasts tonight, and have a very pleasant good evening.